Do you ever have like a friend or like a really close person that you feel like then you can like vent to or look for a mentor or like advice or anything?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think as a business owner, I think it's important to avoid complaining
Mm,
down, like to your employees or to your clients.
mm,
I think it's great to ask their opinion, or say, "Hey, I'm feeling that maybe we're coming up short in this area. Do you have any suggestions, or are you seeing that as well?" Versus being like, "I'm tired of the blank, blank, blank." Right. I'm a big believer complaints should always go up or out. And so I think again creating that network of people in a similar industry, people maybe in a similar point of life. I have two buddies, Mark and Jesse, that are both same industry, same experience level, kids about the same age, and so I feel really lucky that the three of us kind of have each other to lean on and talk ideas off of, but also when you just need that that vent session for a couple of minutes, right, to let it out and to know that they're going to listen and support and then you know let you move forward and not it won't get weird between you.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think you're really fortunate enough to find them in your same field. I feel like, kind of what we touched on a little bit earlier is just the fact that like gym owners end up feeling so secluded. And so, like, I'm the only one who can do all the things, and like nobody else in my personal life, my wife or whoever, doesn't want to hear my complaints about my business, or that complaining about my business now means that I don't like it or it's failing.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to to that mindset of like other people in the same industry, are they my competitor or can
Mm,
they be my support system, right? I don't think in Windsor there's three martial arts schools, and um, I think the other two are very good. Great leaders, good programs, good guys from what I've gotten to know of them. And so if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I've been at this school," my response is, "That's excellent. Like you're lucky that you've been there." And so I think that can be a mind shift that if you do find a connection or group of people, whether they're in state or out of state or however you decide to create that network, um, it's really important to not have that. It doesn't have to be a competition, right? And sometimes as business owners, we like to try to flex our numbers, right? Like I have 400 students or I have this, and oftentimes those numbers aren't even honest. And if you're so busy trying to impress the people in that meeting of like, well, I have 400 students and I have all the answers, well, it's no longer helpful for you. It's just a stroke to your ego to show up and be the biggest voice in the room versus as an opportunity to say, hey, does anyone else have an answer for this, and have the humility to just let other people share. Not that you have to do what they say, you can do it your own way, but um, I think when people are considering a network or a support group, we can be limited by thinking that has to be our competition, and I'm not sure that's the case.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's like really humble of you to even actually acknowledge that like I don't need to be the biggest person in the room and that have all the answers.
When I was in my 20s, I can't say that that was my same mindset. I had to, you know, had to be the one with the answers and the short responses, and I think all of us have at some point in our life. It's that honest moment. For me, it's bedtime, right? Like as apparently as my cell phone's hitting me in the forehead. At bedtime, you're alone by yourself with your own thoughts, and there's no one to impress. The mask comes off, um, and then you start to think through your day and wonder, like, was that productive? Like, did that move me forward or not? And for me, it was an opportunity to say, hey, trying to be the most impressive school owner to other school owners. Probably they don't like me because I sound boastful, right? And that meeting time wasn't productive, and so time that I spent away from my kids, which is my focus, was just talking about myself and what was the goal of that. So, yeah, I can't say it's always been my thought process, but it's definitely one I'm trying to to really lean into.